Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Survival Gigantic Thrashers Torvosaurus from Mattel. So in case you guys saw that previous short that I did before the Scorpius Rex video previously, this is the other figure that I got alongside the Scorpius, which I found at Walmart. And yeah, I'm really excited because, this is a new species for my collection. A pretty well-known one, actually. And then, this is pretty much the last of the gigantic thrashers I needed. So, at least in terms of new species, obviously. So that feels pretty good to finally have these done and out of the way, up until next year anyway. Taking a look at the packaging, though, you got the really nice render of Ember, the T-Rex, up there. And then we got the T-Rex logo, the Jurassic World Survival logo, Gigantic Thrashers Torvosaurus, Mattel, the jungle in the background. It's got two different buttons. You got a button on the side and then a button on the tail, or for a button on the side of the body and then one on the top of the body to activate the little tail feature. And here on the sides it says Jurassic World, and then here on the back it shows you a nice little render of the figure. It's got total tail strike, and then it's got a total thrashing action, which is pretty cool. Gigantic Thrashers Torvosaurus, Mattel, a bunch of other stuff down here. We got the other figure from this new wave of gigantic thrashers, even though these ones have been out for a while now. The Liopleurodon, a really cool looking figure. I really do love the design, but just because it's already a species I already have, I'm not, in a huge hurry to really acquire this one because I already have a Liopleurodon. Jurassic World logo up here and a bunch of facts app information. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and pop this figure out. And just like that, cutting those ties, and the figure is able to come out just like that. Alrighty, so here we have the Gigantic Thrashers Torvosaurus out of the box. I gotta say, I really like the look of this figure. I really love the color choices on it. The design is pretty cool. I mean, it is very, very mutated for sure, in terms of design, because this looks nothing like an actual Torvosaurus at all. But for just a toy standard, it has a really cool looking design, and I really like the colors, and it's got some really great sculpt work in it too. Yeah, just overall a really nice figure. Again, I'm very happy to finally have this in hand now, and it's cool to finally have a Mattel interpretation of a Torvosaurus. This is actually my first Torvosaurus figure in general. I don't even have one in like my little scientific models and everything. Hopefully maybe we can get like another Torvosaurus in the future from Mattel, where it maybe plays a bit more homage to, I guess, scientific accuracy in a way. But still, if you're talking about just the mutant look for a dinosaur, it actually has a really cool design to it, especially this little interesting part right here on the tail, which I was not expecting to see on a Torvosaurus at all, even a Mattel figure. But still a very interesting looking structure on the tail. It looks very similar to like fish-like fins, like something you definitely see in the water, because it just has like that really cool like spiny structure to it with like the webbing all the way through. It's a cool design still, but it's very interesting to see on a dinosaur, because I don't think any dinosaur would have really had this. And if it did, it'd be, the other way around, where it'd be on the top and bottom rather than the side, like if it was like a Spinosaur or something. But to see it on here on just a normal theropod that spent most of its time on land, it's very interesting to see that. But it's got really cool detail though on this little structure. I like the little tiny little scales kind of sculpted onto the little edges right there where it connects to the tail. That looks really cool. I really do like that detail, and I think you got the same thing here on the underside of it too, these little webbing pieces. Really cool stuff. This is made of like a softer material, so it is kind of bendy, not super bendy, but still pretty interesting though. You even got a little bit of that here on the arms as well, which is pretty interesting. Definitely one of the more mutant aspects of this Torvosaurus for sure is these little, more like this little fish-like webbing on the arms right there. Which, if this was a fully completely painted figure, then obviously these little structures on the arms would have been painted red just like this. But yeah, very interesting for that. Everything else is pretty nice though, especially on the head. I really like the scale detail on the head. Very thick scales here at the edge of the jaw, and it kind of like transitions into like the smaller scales, which is really cool. I really like how Mattel gave this Torvosaurus lips. That's like the modern standard for theropods these days. It's a bit more of an accurate look, I guess. And if you open the mouth, looks pretty nice on the inside. Nice detailing on the tongue, giving it like those taste buds on there. At least that's what the texturing looks like to me. So that's really cool. The inside of the mouth, nicely sculpted. The teeth are pretty nice as well, made of that softer rubbery material, which is really nice. Hopefully they look pretty good. I love how they just, you know, fit inside the mouth perfectly. The skull shape though looks pretty good though. I really do like it. It looks nothing like a Torvosaurus, which is pretty funny. If you were to look at this, it really does not scream Torvosaurus at all. This could have been better for like some sort of Allosaurus or maybe even a Saurophaganax, I guess, in a way. But still pretty cool though. Really nice looking head shaped overall. You got the little nostrils right there. I really like the large little crests right there, and it has like this really sharp pointed tip at the top, which is really cool. And you even got this little ridge above the eye. The eyes look really good as well. Nice scale detail. Even here at the top of the snout, or the head as well, looks pretty good. Throughout the rest of the body, really great detailing with the scales all over the entirety of the body. The neck covered in really nice amount of scales and wrinkles in the skin. It looks really good though, especially here on the bottom. Really nice scale work and wrinkles in the skin right there. And then moving down the body, you got some different like sizes of scales as well. You got some larger ones here around the shoulder blade area, and some larger, almost square-like ones here on the side of the body, and some different shaped, more circular ones here at the top. You got a little bit more of that here on the arms as well. Nice folds in the skin as well. I really like that. The claws look really good, nice and sharp looking. The legs look really good as well. Really great detailing on the legs. Mattel did an awesome job with that. Nice amount of muscles flexing through the skin right there, and nice like folds and wrinkles in the skin right there, which look really good, very reptilian-like. And the scaling on the inside of the legs looks really good. You get like different shapes of scales up here, and then it kind of transitions to like these other smaller scales right there, which looks really good. And that continues down all the way the rest of the leg and the foot. The kneecap area looks pretty good. More wrinkles. The feet themselves look really nice as well. Nice claws, nice ridges going up the toes. You got the little dew claw right there, which interestingly does not have any ridges on that digit, so that's pretty interesting. You got the little Jurassic logo here at the bottom, as well as the scan code, if anyone wants that. The scale detail on the foot is amazing, and it feels like actual like reptilian skin. If this was real feel, it'd definitely feel very lifelike, but the scale work on this foot is just really good. Mattel did an awesome job with the sculpt work on the scales on this foot. Really good. And the entire figure itself is really good when it comes to the scales. You get some more nice detailing with the scales going down the rest of the tail, which look really good. Nice kind of spread out little osteoderms or larger pebble looking scales throughout the rest of the body, including the neck. Some more nice stretch marks in the skin right here. Nice skin folds on the underside as well, which with again some more beautifully done sculpted scales on the underside, which just look amazing. Mattel did an awesome job with that. You got more of those nice scale detail going down the rest of the tail. Some more, you know, folds in the skin as well, which look really good. And you got like a nice row or multiple rows of spikes on it. Actually, you got this really big row of spikes here at the top of the neck, and then it fades into like a smaller spikes, and it grows into like these sharper ones, and then those fade into a bit more rounder, blunt ones, and that pretty much goes down roughly to the tip of the tail. They kind of shrink right there, and you got two more rows of spikes here on the side, which look really good. Very Abelisaur-like as well. Again, just could be part of the mutant aspect of this one, in my opinion. And you got some nice more spikes here on the shoulders as well, which look really good. And you even got some more here on the tail, even up here on the tail as well, which look really good. So yeah, the sculpt work is just top notch on this one. Mattel did excellent with this one. And the colors are really good too. Again, the colors could have been applied a bit better, at least in terms of like the body, like with this darker color and the white, and just kind of make it feel a bit more complete. But the color choices are really nice. But one of the things I really love is how a lot of these spikes are actually painted. Sometimes we don't even get this with Mattel. Sometimes they leave a lot of their spikes unpainted and only paint like maybe a couple. But this one has a lot of them painted. You got all the ones here at the top part of the neck painted. Even here on the bottom of the neck right here are painted. You got all these little ones painted, which is pretty cool. I was not expecting to see this, but this is pretty cool. You got more of these smaller ones here painted, same with the other side, and some more on the tail, which makes the tail feel a bit more complete instead of being all bare or just like one color, which is really nice. I really love the added detail to the spikes paint color on this figure. That is really cool. I really do appreciate that. Some spikes obviously are not painted, like some of these back here and this one on the tail, these ones towards the back of the throat and the bottom of the jaw. Some of them are not painted, but especially right here as well. But that's okay. I think with a lot of the other ones painted, it does feel a bit more complete, especially with the spikes. Now, I know I said the paint could have been a bit more complete, especially with the darker green color, but adding in the fully painted spikes all over it, it does make it feel a bit more complete, actually, looking at it a bit more. So that is really cool. Definitely one of the cooler, paint applications from Mattel on their mainline figures. I mean, a lot of them are pretty good, but when they go the extra mile with painting extra little spikes on that, it just makes it 10 times cooler, in my opinion. So paintwork is really good on this one. I really like this dark greenish blue color for the head and the neck. It kind of fades up into the white right here. The white color is pretty good as well. Very basic. There's really not much to really say about it, but it's a good color choice. And then these little fins are painted in a really nice red color, which makes it stand out very nicely. The spikes are painted in like a brownish color. Sadly, the claws on the feet or the hands are not painted in like the same brown color, but it is what it is. The eye, being a bright yellow with a black pupil, looks really good. It highlights the rest of the body or the head very nicely, especially with the splotches of this red and white on the face. It just looks so good. It makes the head pop, and it contrasts very nicely against the darker colors for the rest of the face, which look really good. I really love the colors on the face and how they're applied. On the inside of the mouth, the teeth are molded in like a beige color, and you got it more of like a darker reddish color for the inside of the mouth. It's a different shade than what you get for the red. This is like a full-on bright blood red, which looks really cool. I really do like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the colors as well as the detail. In terms of articulation, it's mostly just the arms and the legs. The arms are actually very loose, but they don't feel like broken loose. They just feel like they're just very more fluent in terms of mobility. They can just move forward and backwards. They don't pivot in and out or anything, so just pretty basic there. And the legs, they're on a ratchet joint as well, which I do like for the legs. Just moves forward and backwards just like that. Interestingly too, it does not have a pivot on the hips where you can spread them in and out like that to help with stability, which I usually never really need to do that. I usually just have the dinosaurs lean up against another dinosaur if need be. But that's really cool. And then you got an ankle joint right here, which you can swivel, which I don't usually use as well. Breaks up the sculpt in my opinion. And then that's pretty much it for just the basic articulation, which is pretty nice. Everything else is due to the action feature. We got two buttons here actually. We got a button here on the side, which if we just press it, just a really cool, somewhat thrashing, chomping action, which I love when dinosaur figures have their mouth automatically closed, and if you push the button, it makes the jaw open. I like that very good, very much. But yeah, you just basically push it, and these little segments here on the neck kind of twist, and it makes the head twist as well. So that is really cool. I like how it just kind of twists. Makes it feel a bit more somewhat realistic, like the skin is stretching as the head is turning, like you get like an actual, living, breathing animal, which is pretty cool. Oh, also I just noticed the little gum flaps right here are not painted, sadly, but it's not the worst thing in the world, but it would have been cool if they were painted for sure. But a really cool feature. And then you got another button right here on the back that if you push it, it basically just makes the tail I guess you could say rattle around, but it mostly just kind of swings back and forth. I don't know what these little fins are really gonna do to hit against something. I mean, I guess if these are sharp, like some actual fish fins, I guess that could do some damage, but still, it's a pretty cool little feature. Works pretty well, in my opinion. The whole tail swinging feature reminds me of the Dino Rivals line, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. We're gonna go on to comparisons. First up, here we have the Torvosaurus compared with a human. Here we have Duncan Kincaid right here, and I think it's a pretty good size. I think Torvosaurus is definitely a lot more bigger than this. But overall, oh, Duncan just fell. It's a pretty good scaling for what it is. But it, you know, I still like it. And then we have the Torvosaurus compared with the only other gigantic thrashers I have for the survival line, and that is the Gorgosaurus. Again, I only got this one because it's a new species I didn't have in the Mattel line. But here we have it here, and these actually look pretty good next to each other. The whole mutant look, it actually is a pretty cool look for these dinosaurs, especially for playability and all that. I think kids would have a lot of fun with these. And for me as a collector, I mean, I'm just glad to have the species. Even though I don't play with the toys, having the species in the collection is just as cool as, you know, kids playing with them. But yeah, they do look really nice together, and you can, you know, use all their different features, you know, buttons to kind of create some really cool dinosaur battles, which is really cool. You know, you got all these little buttons, you know, have this little tail swinging action to hit it, or do something like that, I guess. Pretty cool stuff though. I really do like that. I definitely would have fun playing with these as a kid. And then lastly, for fun, here we have some other dinosaurs that lived alongside Torvosaurus. Now, Torvosaurus was a type of megalosaur, I believe, that is from the, well, I believe there's two different species of Torvosaurus. I know the one, Torvosaurus tanneri, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the one discovered here in North America, part of the Morrison Formation. So lived during the Jurassic period. I decided just to bring out just a couple of Morrison Formation dinosaurs that lived alongside Torvosaurus. We got Ceratosaurus, Hesperosaurus, and of course the most famous carnivore of the formation, Allosaurus. And I think these look really good together. It's really cool how we can have all these different species from Mattel and basically put together your own geological, time scale or time display, I guess, of all these different dinosaurs from the same formations and time periods and all that. So you can basically build up your entire Morrison Formation right here. There's tons of species that Mattel made from the Morrison Formation. I only just grabbed a couple. So I think it's really cool to kind of compare all of those together. But with that, it's really cool to finally have Torvosaurus, especially comparing it next to an Allosaurus, since they're always, not always, but sometimes portrayed going up against each other, which is pretty cool. So, alright everyone, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. For my final thoughts, I really like this figure. Is it the most accurate Torvosaurus representation out there in terms of figure form? No. But is it a really fun figure? Is it pretty cool? You know, nicely sculpted? Yes, for sure. I really do like it. It's got some really great detailing in it, especially with the scales that are sculpted in it as well, and the skin folds and everything. It's got really great paint application in terms of the fully complete painted spikes, which is really cool. And I also like the color choices they picked for it as well, which are really cool as well. It's got some cool action features, and overall it's a pretty solid figure. I recommend it. I mean, it really kind of depends on your own preference, but for me, I really do like it for what it is. It's a really cool dinosaur species altogether, but just a really cool design for a toy. So I really do like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.